the Rhinos 5 times last year. And this 21,300 sellout crowd, I think, will be treated to an absolutely magnificent match, watching Robbie Paul making his first start of the year. 2 appearances as substitutes so far. He broke his arm towards the back end of last year. Now he's back and fully fit. But the Rhinos, they will be hoping that home advantage will count. They won at Widnes on Sunday, just a 4-day turnaround. But Steve-O, this just could be Leeds Rhinos' defining moment of their season.
Certainly is, and I'm sure that Tony Smith, the new coach, is fully aware of that. He'd have gone into the minds of these players. Forget about last season. Okay, 5 times against Bradford, they came away without the win. And it's important that they just push that aside. They know that Bradford have not been playing to their best form. The Bulls kicked off with a magnificent win in the World Club Championship against the Penrith Panthers. Then they just absolutely decimated Wigan. It looked as though they were going to continue on, and then there's been a wobble. I don't think there'll be a wobble tonight. Both sides will look towards their forwards. As ever, Bradford will be looking towards the pack to bully the opposition, and if they take control in the first 10-15 minutes, they could go on to win.
Fantastic welcome for the Rhinos as they trot out at Headingley for this, what many people say is their most important game of the year when they take on the Bradford Bulls. A winning start in the Super League for the Rhinos. 174 points scored at an average of 44 per game. 9 tries against Widnes, but they kept the opposition scoreless for the first time in Super League, and the first time away from home since November 91, when they beat Wigan 19-0. There's the man with a massive job. Steve Ganson is the man in the middle tonight, and we've seen Steve Ganson in the past, Steve-O, produce some rabbits out of the hat. Let's hope this evening isn't one of those.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't try to imitate Tommy Cooper tonight, that is for sure. And I think Paul Cullen, our guest, has definitely made the point, is that the officials are clamping down on the around the play, the ball area. It's great for the fans as long as he keeps it going for the full 80 minutes. Let's have plenty of open play. Some wonderful players out there.
And we're underway in front of the biggest crowd of the year. And Leeds will have first use of the football, and Feather is tracked down by Stuart Fielden. First tackle of the match in front of this sellout crowd. Terrific to see. And of course another sellout on the way at Knowsley Road, lunchtime Good Friday, when Wigan are in town. Early moments of the match here, so important for the forwards to get their first tackle in, for the backs to get their first run, for all the players to get the first touch of the football. David Ferner has done that now. He takes the last tackle, this opening set of 6. Diskin was the dummy half. Sinfield takes control. That's a great ball to Feather. They have a 3-man overlap. Ball inside to Duneman. It goes wide to Chris McKenna, and McKenna's kick is fielded by Michael Withers. But that was a fine break from Leeds on the last tackle when they ran it. Let's take a look at the sides. Mathers, Cummins, Walker Senior, By, Maguire and Duneman. The forwards, Bailey, Diskin, Feather, Ferner. McKenna gets his first run of the season. Sinfield's the captain. And the substitutes, Burrow, McDermott coaching, Ward, coach, Tony Smith facing Bradford for the first time as Leeds coach. The Bulls have Withers, Vicona, Johnson, Harpy returns, that's a boost. Vinacolo, Paul's the skipper, and Deacon. The forward pack, Vanganar, Smith, Fielden, Parker, Peacock, Langley. Radford out injured. Price, Anderson, Reardon and Moore. First appearance of the season for him, waiting their opportunity on the bench for coach Brian Noble. That's Danny Maguire, just voted the Tetley Super League Player of the Month. Here's Chris McKenna, I beg your pardon, it was Richie Mathers. This is Diskin now, driving forward. And Diskin halted just inside his own half of the field.
Not surprisingly, both sides quite happy to just run one out from the dummy half position. In fact, the break from Feather has been the only time that we've seen the ball pass to a player on the outside.
Here's Feather again. He began the match last week for the first time in his Leeds career, has been used as a substitute all the way through prior to that. That's Duneman's high bomb, and Withers claims it airborne, and is tackled then by Ferner.
There's a big claim that the Leeds player was taken out when that ball was high. It was Danny Maguire, but the officials just waved it away. And he certainly was. Robbie Paul got the shoulder in, tipped him over. That could have well have been a penalty.
This is Paul Johnson, who 12 months ago might have been thinking about Saints Wigan on Good Friday. Now he's involved in this red-hot battle between Leeds and Bradford. The two biggest games of the Super League year on Sky over the next 24 hours. Here goes Fielden on the last tackle, just over the halfway line. Aaron Smith, the dummy half, gives it to Deacon. He will slide the kick through, and Cummins collects it near his own try line. Cummins preferred in the side to young Mark Calderwood at the moment.
That surprised me that they're kicking towards the experienced Francis Cummins. One would have expected that they would have been putting a lot of pressure on Marcus Bai. But we just saw two runs there.
Great defence here from Bradford, by the way. And this is Marcus Bai now. Fielden collared him. He was helped out by Van Genaar.
It's in the pack that's going to be important for both these sides. They've got to really boss the middle of the park. We know that either side have got plenty of talent out wide, but they've got to make sure that they get that springboard right.
Big hoof downfield with some Sinfield. It's picked up by Michael Withers. Let's go to the sideline and join Bill Arthur in a moment. This is Vicona. Bill and Phil Clark, of course, keeping tabs on things at ground level for us tonight, as always. And it's a cauldron of an atmosphere at Headingley. This is Peacock. 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. Smith to Robbie Paul, and he finds Fielden on the angled run. That's a good halt though by Diskin.
Interesting to see how Robbie Paul has been utilised as the first receiver, bringing people back on the inside, on the angle.
Jamie Langley, 20 metres away on the last tackle, plays the ball. Here is Deacon, he's shaped a kick, then got the pass away to Jamie Peacock, and Peacock stabs it in towards the in-goal area, and Richie Mathers is content with Marcus Bai to allow it to run dead in goal.
Under a lot of pressure, Jamie Peacock is not the nominated kicker. They just got it all mixed up there, did the Bulls. But I must say I was surprised that even when Peacock did put the kick in, the chase from Bradford was very poor indeed. You saw two Leeds players very slowly watch that ball go dead in goal.
Here's Ryan Bailey now for the Leeds Rhinos.
A lot of the Bradford fans, Eddie, they've been saying to me that of late they do not seem to have much enthusiasm. They've struggled over the last fortnight.
They must have enthusiasm on a night like this, surely. This is Maguire. Here is Keith Senior. Senior trying to go down the outside, but good tackle by Paul Johnson. That'll be a great battle tonight, Senior and Johnson. This is on the last. Maguire's kick is sliced into the air and is claimed brilliantly in the air by little Paul Deacon.
Tremendous leap, wasn't it? Notice how he put the knees out in front just to protect himself. Not the tallest on the paddock, as you can see, but he took that quite superbly. Both defences on top at the moment. Only that one break from Feather so far, 6 minutes into this game.
Aaron Smith, that's now by Nicolo. Some big hits already, some big collisions. This is Robbie Paul as Bradford try to spread it. Johnson is tackled by Senior on the last.
Great sliding defence there. Just pushing the ball out wide, making sure that there was no gaps. There's a high one. Looks a bit long.
But it's been allowed to bounce by Leeds, and they came up with it in the shape of Francis Cummins.
Well, there again, it was not the best chase by the Bradford side. Leeds allowing the ball to bounce there. It could have gone anywhere. Francis Cummins got to it in the end. But they don't look enthusiastic yet again.
Francis Cummins cut down in the tackle. Deacon getting through a lot of work. Still waiting for the first collision between McDermott and Fielden. but both players anxious to play that personal battle down in the build-up to this match. Here is Sinfield, the lead skipper, and he was shoulder charged after the ball went by Peacock, but it was a good kick just the same, and a great chase by Marcus Fye. There was nowhere for Tavita Vicona to go there.
Great kick there from the skipper, Kevin Sinfield. He put the bat spin on the ball, was never going to go in out of the dead ball area.
Well, one of the biggest games of the year, in fact, maybe the biggest game of the year so far for these two. I wonder who's going home with the 2 points and the watch as man of the match. Our representatives from the Rugby League media will make that choice for us, and their spokesman is Dave Hatfield.
Yes, hello Eddie, that's some raised eyebrows about players we didn't expect to see at all tonight. Shantae Happy and Chris McKenna, be interesting to see what impact they have. Danny Maguire in the side, out of the side, back in the side, likewise for him. And we hope eventually we're going to see Barry McDermott on the field with Stuart Fielder. We'll feel a little bit robbed if we don't see a continuation of their personal war.
Well, we'll be talking to Dave with about 5 or 10 minutes to go.
Oh, that should have been a flop, and it is.
He will decide who's the man of the match. I think that's the first penalty of the game.
Well, that was silly from the prop forward Stuart Fielder. Far too experienced for that. No need for it. Giving away a vital 30 metres away to the opposition. And we saw and we mentioned the Bradford side. They looked so finely tuned against the Australian champions Penrith, but it looks as though they're missing a few cogs out there.
Brian Noble, the coach, alongside him Phil Vivas, his assistant. This is Chris Feather now for Leeds as they try and examine this Bradford defence. They're 10 metres away. It's a glorious opportunity this for the Rhinos. Sinfield back to Mathers. He skips inside Robbie Paul. He gives it to Danny Maguire, the man of the moment. Maguire, what a run from Maguire. Good ball to Sinfield. Oh, and Sinfield just loses possession at the vital time.
They had the overlap out wide as well to the right.
But that was magical from Maguire.
He's all quality. They were playing ducks and drakes. There's the captain losing the football. The coach Tony Smith, as Dave Hatfield had just pointed out, it looked as though Danny Maguire all week was going to start up from the bench. Then he's starting, then he wasn't.
But that was a truly mesmerising run from the youngster Maguire.
And good work,
one of the great young talents in the game.
Certainly is, and throwing to that mix as well, the ability of the fullback Richard Mathers. He really has impressed me.
I think I'm right in saying that Gary Connolly is fit. If he's not fit, he's almost fit. And it takes some performance to keep him out of the side. That's a great ball, and Harpy allows it to bounce.
He's lost it.
It was on the last anyway. It's the turnover.
Nice little option though. Deacon just putting the cross kick. Something Harpy will be a little bit rusty.
He was very patient, Harpy, to collect that, and Leeds a little bit impatient. They were waiting for the referee's whistle. It never came. Now it does, and he says they can play on.
Well, he did the right deed, didn't he? Shantae Harpy got the possession, got it in his hands, and then lost it at the vital moment. Oh, that's a risky pass. McKenna did well to hold that.
Bradford, they ended Leeds' 7-match winning start to Super League last year when they won 46-22 at Odsal in May. And of course something will have to go tonight. Even if it's a draw, okay, both sides will stay unbeaten, but a 100% record will be no more. That will belong to St Helens, at least until tomorrow when we have that game for you lunchtime on Good Friday. Maguire gets it wide to Senior, and Senior escapes the clutches. What a great run from the centre on the last tackle. Ferner waits at dummy half. Here is Danny Maguire again, stabs the kick toward the post, and it comes up for Andrew Duneman. It bounced off the post perfectly for Duneman, but the question that Steve Ganson is asking now is Andrew Duneman onside?
We'll see from the wide shot. Ferner left it very late. Maguire, yeah, he's onside. This will be TRY time. They practice this. Don't think that it's a fluke, because it's not. On the training ground, they work all the time to hit the protection on the post, and it certainly did that. It was a wicked little angle, wasn't it? Nothing that Paul Deacon could do about it. Mr. Duneman has brought up the first try. This will be giving TRY no doubt about the ground, and listen to this crowd here, especially in the south stand underneath us, when the TRY comes up on this screen.
Video referee's decision is on the way, and a try it is for Andrew Duneman. That's his first Super League try of the year, and it's his third start in a row for the Rhinos here.
Put under a lot of pressure, but you can see there, I mentioned the fact, the lack of enthusiasm. Okay, Lady Luck went their way, but you force it. You know, the harder you work, the more luckier you become. He was aiming for the post, okay, he got the ricochet, Duneman got the 4 points. But I am sad to say that Bradford, the lack of enthusiasm, especially once shown there in defence, they hung back.
Sinfield adds the extras, and Leeds have a 6-0 lead here at Headingley against their fiercest local rivals, the Bradford Bulls.
Well done, Karen, no problems, everything's good.
Phil Clark is downstairs on the sideline. White hot atmosphere, Phil.
It is, Eddie. I disagree with Steve. I just don't think that the Bulls are not interested. What it's simply a fact from this position that I'm sat in is the speed of the game. I think both sides really have just been trying to keep up with the pace, and Bradford having to do most of the playing in their own half have suffered from that. I think Leeds have done very well in when they've kicked the ball to Bradford. They haven't given opportunity to either the fullback with us or either wingers to build up some pace and run it back, which is what they traditionally like to do, and on which they get a roll. They've been clever chips over, or kicks really were bombs that they've contested with, and that's prevented Bradford from assuming the field position that they usually dominate in sides. And well, there are no victories at bargain prices, and whatever these sides have got in the bank, they're going to have to spend tonight.
Here are Leeds again with Bailey, and it's a real tussle with Peacock. Oh, and Bailey thought about the offload then.
Well, this is the point that I'm making about the lack of enthusiasm. Look, they've got their back turned to the opposition, and it's the last tackle. You can't afford to do that against a side as talented as Leeds.
And Bradford have suffered 6 mixed tackles already. This is Sinfield on the last. Now, over the head of Duneman, and on the bounce to Maguire, who seems to have so much time. Got the kick in, and that's a knock-on.
It's on the last anyway, so it'll be the turnover. But he's so inventive, isn't he? He really
is. He was offside, actually. There was a man in front, little nudge forward by one player, the other one standing in front, picked it up, offside.
But isn't it great, Eddie, to see a young player like Danny Maguire quite happy not to just take the option of the kick, play it safe. He was jinking around, stepping off both feet. He's looking for the opening all the time.
Aaron Smith on halfway, gives it to Fielden, and Fielden carries them forward about 10-12 metres. Hull are 10 up against Castleford after 10 minutes. And Wakefield leading London by 4 points to 0, also after 10 minutes. 3 matches in the Tetley Super League tonight, 3 more on the morrow. This is Langley. Easter is off to a cracking start here at Headingley. 6-0 Leeds, but Bradford looking to respond with Peacock. Dumps it into the arms of Aaron Smith.
Well, if ever there's a night that Robbie Paul, the Bradford skipper, really has to come to the fore, it's this evening. He really has got to get his side moving.
And here is Robbie Paul. That's a good ball wide. And Shontaine Harpy flicks it into Vainicolo. That's a fantastic Bradford try. That was absolutely spectacular. What a pass.
Nothing short of sensational.
Well, that will quieten a critic or two.
Well, I've pinpointed the fact that Robbie Paul had to do something different. And boy, he certainly did that. Beautiful long pass. Standing way out wide, through the dummy, once, twice. The pass out wide. What about the pass from Shontaine Harpy? Superb. We've seen so many skills already this season, and none better than this. 1 dummy, 2 dummy. Pull the centre in 5, then you step, and the support and the pass. Boy, we're in for a cracker. He loves nothing better, does he? Vainicolo, the volcano erupts yet again.
And the Leeds bogeyman has struck once more. Look at that. Tries in 6 consecutive matches between these two. Leslie Vinacolo. Remember the explosive start he had to his season at Odsal against Wigan. 5 tries that night. Now Deacon to level the scores. It's all square at Headingley. 6 points apiece.
Well done. Paul, keep everything nice.
What a match already.
In the circle, Walker, Francis Cummings throws the dummy. They had sufficient. It was enough room out wide, and then we came to squeeze it. Oh, great position there by Vinacolo.
Leslie Vinacolo's try then. What a start to this match. Paul Cullen is here with us. A fantastic try. In fact, 2 great tries we've seen already.
Eddie, if anybody in the world doesn't know the difference between rugby league and rugby union, just have a look at this game. 17 minutes on the clock, and the play has not stopped once, apart from the 2 tries scored. Not 1 scrum, only 2 penalties, all the kicks kept in the field of play. These 2 sides are trying to blow the lungs out of each other. Going to be scores at the end of the game because they cannot keep this pace up. We've got 34 machines playing this game. It's absolutely fantastic.
Great start. 17 and a half minutes gone. It's absolutely flown by, and we're all square at Headingley. And it's level pegging in terms of time in possession. The Bradford Bulls have to come back to Headingley in August, by the way.
Well, that could be a real wake-up call for him, because that was sensational. And Brian Noble would have been so pleased with the fact that the man in question, Robbie Paul, there's the kicker, Paul Deacon. His combination with his captain, Robbie Paul, is so important. Kicking game from this fella, likewise. But what a piece of brilliance from Robbie Paul. 2 chinking runs, 2 dummies, pulled in the defence, and the long ball out wide to Shantae Harpy was superb. And I must make also the point that when you see it from the front on, the 2 passes, first from Deacon and then the one to Robbie Paul, was about 35-40 metres, just 2 passes. Unbelievable rugby league football.
There's the Bradford captain making his return to starting action tonight, and Paul Anderson is about to come on. You might have noticed also Danny Ward is waiting to come on for the Leeds Rhinos. I mean, we're talking about Paul Deacon, by the way, as the change is made by the Rhinos. Deacon tonight making his 170th appearance for Bradford. And there is the first touch for young Danny Ward. Diskin to Sinfield. That's a great kick. That'll ask a question or 2 of Vinacolo. Walker was all around him, and Vinacolo came up with all the answers.
Well, 18 months ago, perhaps you would have thought that it would have been a 50-50, but Vinacolo has worked so hard in that department. Gets himself back. He was a little bit caught out early in his career with the Bradford Bulls. His positional play wasn't good. We all know what he can do when the ball in his hand, but he really has worked hard in the defence.
What a hit by Ward on Johnson.
That had a big red cross.
Aaron Smith.
Well done.
To the halfway line.
Good thinking as well. After a big hit like that, sometimes you just eat up the clock. Oh, that's a charge down. Lovely play on.
Penalty. Deacon wrestled Ryan Bailey without the ball.
You can't just pull the man back.
It's very rare you get to this position. He took his time, didn't he? Bailey did everything spot on. And when he was pulled back, there was always going to be the penalty given. All spotted by Steve Ganson.
Well, once again, Leeds are in the danger zone for Bradford. Here is Ward, tackled by Anderson, the 2 subs on. Aaron Smith in there also. Diskin waits behind the play the ball. Now it's with Sinfield. He misses out Bailey and gives it to Richie Mathers. And Mathers cuts inside. There's another outstanding talent as well. 20-year-old Richard Mathers.
Sheer class, this kid.
Diskin, Bailey.
Well, they did a Jimmy Lowe's there. Little slip back on the inside from the dummy half position. Will they do another one? Long ball.
Yes to Maguire, who finds David Furner. And Furner, 33 years of age, loses none of his appetite, gets it away to Sinfield. And Sinfield looked a couple of times, eventually got rid of it. Here is Duneman. Duneman short pass. Maguire takes over from Mathers. High stepping run from Maguire. In the end, he's grounded. That's tackle number 4. Marcus Bai switches the direction of play, stabs the ball in himself, collides with 2 players, and Aaron Smith, taking no chances, just hacked it dead. Leeds asking for the penalty.
Nothing wrong with it. He turned his body. Did Langley? Did it right? If you're both facing in the same direction, you can use the shoulder charge. Nothing wrong with this whatsoever. It could have been a penalty if Langley had not turned his body quickly, but he did. Either way, he knows that Leeds are going to get the possession from the dropout. Tony Smith, he'd be happy with the fact he really couldn't control that. That try from Bradford that brought them level was outstanding. Great support play.
Here's Chris McKenna. It appeared before tonight that Chris McKenna couldn't buy a place in the starting lineup, but he was named late. McDonald was the man to drop out. McDonald is the 18th man. Maguire is very much in the starting lineup. He was named on the bench. Diskin to Sinfield, who always looks busy. Having a great season, Kevin Sinfield.
Well, that's 3 or 4 times that we've seen Leeds step off the right foot. But really, they need someone coming back on that second phase. It's looking pretty at the moment, but they need that second phase to get in.
And the kick hit the Bradford player. Will this be 6 to go?
Did he go for it?
He did, because
it is.
the Bradford man
Oh! Sinfield doesn't know it. Sinfield didn't realise that the referee had wiped the tackle count, and he went for the kick on the last, so he thought. What a boo-boo that is. Here's a kick through. They certainly went for it. Jamie Peacock went for the ball
and got a kick in. Jamie Peacock. That's why the tackle count was wiped down. This is Anderson now.
He really should have been looking more. Should have had help from his players.
Robbie Paul. Oh, good hit by Bailey, but he bounced off it. The Bradford skipper. Lateral run. Duneman gets to him. Still Robbie Paul. Aaron Smith scoots in a dummy half, finds Jamie Langley.
Well, the pace of this game, absolutely unbelievable. And both sides are suffering. On this occasion now, you can see Leeds are finding it very difficult to get up on that defence.
This is the last tackle, remember, and Vi Kona is trapped with ball in hand. Referee was waving the tackle count down, and Sinfield just didn't see him. He was looking the other way. And Bradford have got the ball back here.
Oh, what an error. What a mistake.
Johnson doing well there, winning that particular challenge. Here is Peacock.
Well, little errors like that is the reason why the game can just swing one way or the other.
Johnson.
A try here for the Bulls, and I tell you what, they really would lift.
Aaron Smith, long ball to Robbie Paul. Picked it up off his bootlaces, back inside to the man of steel, Jamie Peacock. Player of the year last year, Jamie Peacock. 10 metres away from the Leeds line. Smith to Robbie Paul. He finds Deacon. Deacon, great ball back.
Well spotted by Poaching.
Poaching kept Rob Parker out. Can they keep them out here? The ball's come back to Langley.
That'll be the turnover.
They went for the power play.
That's the second time that they've done that. That rather surprises me. Really works on percentages. Normally does Brian Noble. Likes to put it into the in-goal area. Make sure that they get consecutive sets of 6. When you've got a big side like Bradford are, it's so important. You've got to try to wind and sort of drive them in. Just wind away. Make the opposition think that they're not going to get the ball for a long period.
Bradford's last defeat against Leeds, the 10th of May 2002, 20 points to 28, right here on this ground. It's 6-all now, 25 minutes gone of this first match between these two this year in the Tetley Super League. And this is Chev Walker. That's a great ball from Walker to Willie Poaching. And Poaching puts the kick in, and Vernacolo tidies up and manages to get into the field of play.
Well, I'm not so sure they went for the right option there.
Great ball from Withers to Vicona, and he bounces off too. And he flicks the pass over to Robbie Paul. And he has Paul Johnson. And Johnson is quick. He's away from Bai. He couldn't get away from Senior.
Track back well there, did the centre. Keith Senior had to. A lot of people think he hasn't got much speed. showed it on that occasion.
Robbie Paul to Paul Deacon in centre field. He steps inside one, but he doesn't get away from Sinfield. Barry McDermott was there as well. Here is Leslie Vainicolo. And that ball's come out and Leeds have it back. It's with Chev Walker.
Well, I think Walker on this occasion will just drop to the... There's Poaching, gets the kick away, and I'm not so sure that's a better option. Yet again, we see Leslie Vainicolo in a wonderful position.
We talk about the Super League, the raising of the standards. Phil Clark, these two are setting some standards for the rest of this weekend, indeed the rest of the season.
They are. In rugby league, a lot of teams just think completion when in possession, but these two sides think attack, and that's what's made it such a great game to start with. I think Leeds probably have played the better in the opening 25, 26 minutes of this game, but still the scores are tied, and that just goes to show how even this whole game's going to be.
Maguire on a little burst.
Good refereeing by Steve Ganson there. He should have given a penalty, but he knew that Maguire was threading his way through.
Good kick from Duneman. Testa for Vainicolo. It's bounced off him. This will be 6 to go, and it is. And Sinfield this time, here's the call.
Wasn't going to be caught out twice.
Pressure from Leeds, 10 metres away. Diskin, McDermott. Barry McDermott driving in towards the sticks. Diskin waits again. Finds his captain Sinfield over the head of Duneman. And this is Willie Poaching again.
Getting through a lot of work out wide in amongst the centres. Duneman's gone the blind side.
He has, and he's halted by the tackle from Paul and Harpy. That's foregone. Poaching waits now. He'll nip it back to Sinfield. Will Sinfield kick early? No, he'll give it to Danny Ward. And Ward is there and in no man's land. That's the last.
Yet again, if you're going to turn the ball back on the inside, you've got to make sure that there's somebody's there to it.
The kick was poor from Matt Diskin, he knows it.
There's plenty of guys out there that are more proficient in the kicking game than that.
Okay, well done.
Well left by Michael Withers, know that there was no problem with that ball.
Stays 10-0 at Hull after 25 minutes. Wakefield 14-0 against London. Half an hour gone. The Wakefield Wildcats. Steve-O said on Boots and All on Wednesday night that sometime someone would catch a cold against them. I wonder whether it will be this evening at Griffin Park, Brentford.
Oh, that's a better run.
This is Peacock.
That's what's needed. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost the ball. It's a knock-on. He is furious, the Jamie Peacock. Not a happy bunny, I'll tell you. I know it's Easter. He thought that Ward was late coming into that. He just lost control. I must say, Paul, that the pace of this game, I mean, the last 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, they'll be out on their feet.
Absolutely breathtaking. Check the clock once more. 30 minutes on the clock, first scrum down. This is the modern face of rugby league. These players have gone at it, hammer and tong, for 30 minutes flat out. They're going to blow at some point in this game. Both sides are at 95% plus on the completion. The ball's being kept in play. Someone's going to collapse very, very shortly. I can see it coming.
Well, I get the impression, Paul, that you're glad you've retired from this modern game. I certainly have.
Just to emphasise the point that Paul Cullen is making, 29 minutes 41 seconds. The ball has been in play, 26 minutes 48 seconds. Only 3 minutes of breathing space for these players so far, and Leeds just shading the first half possession, but it's 6-all on the scoreboard, and no wonder 21,000 plus queued up for tickets for this one. The last tickets were sold earlier on today.
Well, they've had value for money already. Just over half an hour gone in this game.
That was Fielden, and Barry went hunting for him.
Oh, there's a problem there. I think it's Matt Diskin that's down.
It is, but it's with Leon Price here for Bradford.
He went in very awkward into the tackle, did Diskin.
This is Vainicolo. He'll play it to Leon Price.
Oh, he's gone for the power play.
Leon Price, they're lined up out here. This is the last.
Oh, there's nobody there. I can't believe it. Wow. Ain't no sunshine when you're gone, but it looks as though there's a big problem for Diskin.
There are actually 2 players down, 2 players on the deck. Phil Clark.
Yes, Eddie, at That's a problem here now. But Diskin being led to the sideline, and I think that Leeds want to stop the game. The game's continuing though with Bye through the gap.
It is Marcus Bye over the halfway line. There is a major problem with the Leeds player. He's down on the far side of the ground, and I think it's Danny Maguire who is in all sorts of trouble. It is, as Rob Burrow makes one of his traditional and spectacular darting little runs. On the last tackle, Duneman waits for the ball. Here is Sinfield, and Sinfield with the kick. It's another tester for Vainicolo. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it, and Leeds have got it back. And it's zero tackle for Leeds, right on the Bradford line. Poaching waits the dummy half. Maguire jogging back. Poaching. He's held up.
Bring it back.
And he'll bring it back this year. They take it back to the 10-metre line, and the tackle count continues. There's no scrum down anymore, head and feet. It just simply goes back 10 metres, and we'll restart with the play the ball, and the tackle count continues. This is the second tackle. This is Duneman. This is Ferner. They have men wide. Mather is one of them, but
then again, Eddie, Ferner was looking for someone to come back on the angle. It's looking pretty, but you've got to work hard off the ball.
Great offload by McDermott to Burrow. He finds Ward, and Ward is halted on the third tackle. Burrow, dummy half. Duneman waits. Misses out. Mathers finds Sinfield. They were after him, and Sinfield had to step away from one, but couldn't get away from Leon Price. Richie Mathers waits. Goes down the short side to Poaching. That's the last.
Surely the kick yet again into the corner.
Coming this way this time from Sinfield. Looking for Marcus Bye.
Oh, this is interesting.
The ball didn't bounce anywhere other than in the field of play.
Yeah, but did his foot hit the whitewash? Did Vicona's foot hit the whitewash when he touched this ball? Oh, no, just in time.
His right foot was just in the air.
Back here, Willie. Kev.
What a game.
Unbelievable.
The collisions in the tackle, the skill with the football in hand. And
not only that,
as we
Eddie,
were saying earlier, the fact the ball's never out of play.
The pace of it.
And Bill, I think you've got the injury news.
Just a flurry of injuries there, Eddie. Matt Diskin has gone straight to the medical room for treatment.
Hang on, this is Langley. He gets the ball away. Bill, back to you.
Yeah, Matt Diskin having treatment. He's been taken to the medical room. The doctor, I think, has gone in there to have a look at him. Looks very groggy indeed. Danny Maguire, it seems, is okay to carry on. Robbie Paul we saw come up. I think that's really to give Robbie a breather. And Matt Diskin took a big hit there. I think he just got it all wrong and caught a shoulder right in the side of the head by the look of things. Robbie Paul's off, but I don't think he's carrying an injury. I think it's merely the fact that this was his first start. He's been on the bench for the last couple of games, and my word, what a game to make your first start in.
Sorry, Bill.
The pace has been frantic.
It has been frantic, and you're right, it was a 2-on-1 tackle, and the ball was stolen.
Well, this is silly play. You can see there that two in attendance. And it's no good appealing. And little things like that. But this is wonderful rugby league football.
They've won the last 7 league and cup meetings against Leeds. And in Super League, it's been the golden era for the Bradford Bulls, winning 20 of 24 in Super League against Leeds since '96. But Leeds are in the mood tonight to put that record a little straighter. Burrow. Here's Ward.
Hanging back again is this Bradford defence. That was a great run by McDermott. And what an offload as well.
Sinfield. Maguire, who is fit to carry on. Oh, Maguire! Well, this young man just gets better and better. That was worth the admission money alone. He is a man of such tender years, 21, and yet he has all the skill and poise of a veteran.
Well, this is why a few eyebrows were raised when Tony Smith, the new coach, decided all this week he would come off the bench. He started the game and he's looked hungry, hasn't he? And that, as Eddie has just mentioned, is sheer skill. Speed off the mark. The body language superb. He's got wonderful balance. He's a thinker. He knows what he's going to do well before the ball is in his hands. That is a sign of a truly, truly great professional.
And remember, not long ago he was flat out and looked in all sorts of strife, but the magic sponge has worked its magic, and Danny Maguire has produced some magic for that try. Absolutely special. How do you coach against that sort of talent? Well, that's the problem that Brian Noble has at the moment. Fantastic try. 50th appearance, by the way, for Danny Maguire against Widnes last Sunday. He got his 30th try. It's not a bad return, is it? And Kevin Sinfield now lining up the conversion attempt to give the Rhinos a 12-6 lead. He scored in each of the last 19 Rhinos games before tonight. Kevin Sinfield, he's pulled that one the wrong side of the post, but he's already added to that tally with the earlier conversion to Duneman's try. It's 10-6.
There you see Paul Deacon just come out of the line. Hesitation by the centre, Paul Johnson. It is sufficient. What a wonderful break.
Phil Clark, I know you were Great Britain team manager during the last Ashes series. What a future Danny Maguire has.
He's got a great future. You need players in big games to come up with big players, and that's what he did there. I was just going to make the point that both coaches have brought dynamic impact players from the reserves bench in Price and Burrows, looking for those to maybe come up with a big play for a try before half-time. As it was a player on the field.
Phil, that was great defence there by Vainicolo. Phil, I was just trying to make the point that, you know, he's so much talent as Danny Maguire. Were you disappointed that he was not selected in that final test? Australia had done the test series. Surely we should have given this lad a go.
No, I wasn't really. I thought maybe it was a bit too soon for him. He's got a great future ahead of him. I don't think we need to put him in too soon. I still think he's got a lot to learn. Maybe, importantly, defensively, Steve-O. When you're watching a game, it's very easy to go away with your memories of players with the ball in the hand attacking, and we forget sometimes the mistakes that players can make when defending. I'm sure that's the part of his game that he'll be working on. If he beefs that up, he's going to be one of the best in the world.
Listen, I don't really worry, Phil, in regards to that. I just want to see guys who can score tries.
To be fair to Phil Clark, yeah, Steve-O, he is not involved, and he's not involved in team selection at all.
Oh no, I'm not making that point. All I'm saying is I was disappointed. I think this guy should be given a good chance.
He probably will get his chance in the Tri-Nations this year. Knock on by Bradford, and news of Matt Diskin. Bill.
It's good news for the Leeds Rhinos. Matt Diskin quickly out of the medical room. He did get a bang on the head, but he's shaken that off, and I think he'll be ready to return in the second half.
Good news for Leeds Rhinos. Bad news for Bradford. And it was Maguire who was harassing Johnson that produced the mistake.
To be fair, it wasn't the best pass. It was always dipping, and neither was that.
Oh. Mathers drilled to the ground by Leon Price, and he did that, of course, in the grand final to Brian Carney. A lot of people was a little bit angry with that challenge from Leon Price that night, but it was perfectly legal according to the match referee and everyone else. Here is Senior.
Isn't it great to see? That's about the third or fourth time that Senior's gone right into the middle, done the job as a prop forward.
Oh, what a ball from Burrow. That was Sinfield on the end of it.
Good job that Peacock got to him. He was flying through a huge gap.
Richie Mathers, kick to test Vainicolo again, but Vainicolo picks up.
It's the fourth time that Vainicolo has got himself in the right position. Full credit to his coach, Brian Noble.
He must have been working over
he certainly
the last
has.
12-18 months on that side of his game.
Certainly has, and Leslie Vainicolo will be the first to admit that that was one of the negatives to his play.
Here's Anderson now for Bradford. 150th substitute appearance in his career, which began at Leeds for Paul Anderson in 1991, by the way.
Got to be the kick here.
Last tackle. It's the kick from Vainicolo. And the Leeds man, I think, has rolled that out.
That'll be it, though.
Half-time. Leeds just shaded it in the first half, 10-6. Duneman started it all. Maguire's try lit up the 37th minute, and in between it all, Leslie Vainicolo came up with his now expected try against the Leeds Rhinos. Well, we anticipated something special, and these two fine sides are producing on Sky tonight.
Easter on Sky Sports. The Heineken Cup quarter-finals. Division 1 football, plus Super League continues. Test cricket from Antigua, Championship boxing, Division 1 football, and 2 more Heineken Cup quarter-finals. The Scottish Cup semi-final, Newcastle Arsenal, plus the remaining quarter-final in the Heineken Cup. British Superbikes, more Premiership action. Division 1 football, plus Super League continues. Easter on Sky Sports.
Excuse me, madam, could you spare a few moments of...
Don't let anything come between you and Debenhams Easter Extra offers. Denby dinner set, £125 this weekend. Pacific Garden furniture set, £200 this weekend. Carl Jackson suits, £110 this weekend. Debenhams Easter offers, must end Monday.
So what can you do on mortgages? Well, with a Britannia mortgage, you could save more than you think. Good. But what's in it for you? Well, Britannia is a... mutual building society. Very nice. Which means our members share the profits.
Last year we shared £42 million.
And you won't get that anywhere else.
Call Britannia, where membership means a great deal.
Chassis torque cylinder traction, just in this week's split tailgate. Sprocket residual metallic cat. Speedo tacho airbags, all leather emissions with cruise climate and parking diff, but only one owner. Rack and pin airy cabin, you don't want one of those. APR balloon payments with an asterisk over 3 years, small print, give it a spoodle. And Robert is very much your mother's brother.
When you buy a car, is it like they're talking another language? With the AA's new online car buyer's guide, you get free advice on everything from selecting the right model to negotiating a better deal.
Cylinder chassis power plant, overhead autobox.
2002.
Right, follow me.
For expert advice on buying a car, just ask at theaa.com.
Well, your lungs and your blood tests are fine, and your heart is excellent.
Great.
But your hearing, Mrs. Hill.
Pardon?
Your hearing about the buzzing sound you mentioned?
Oh, yes.
I think I just found the problem.
Bupa health assessments include up to 2 hours of detailed checks and are open to everyone.
Oh, I know just the person. I'll give him a buzz. Oh, buzz! Oh, ha, ha, ha.
Bupa, the health and care people.
If you're not using Roundup, that perennial weed you thought was dead could come back again and again. Most weed killers only kill the leaves. Roundup kills the root. And if a weed doesn't have any roots, it can never come back. Now, Roundup comes in one easily adjustable pull and spray pack. A single shot for a single weed, or spray and spray with pull and spray for an overgrown jungle. Roundup kills the root, kills the weed.
Now, one credit card offers the UK's lowest flat rate. No vanishing short-term offers. No sky-high purchase rates. Just a flat rate of 5.9% APR that stays low. The Capital One No Hassle Platinum Card.
What's in your wallet?
I was searching for a place called Confidence. I didn't know where to look.
Hey, buddy, don't come in my car.
All I knew was...
Hey, that's my car!
I really wanted to move on, so I drove out east on Route P15.
Who are you?
I was just asking myself the same question.
Don't worry, you'll figure it out.
If I look real close, I'm right there.
Didn't you just run off the other way?
He was another me. Whatever happens, don't turn back.
As well as the best that the Tetley Super League has to offer, we have wonderful action coming up for you from Australia this Easter weekend. New Zealand Warriors and Newcastle Knights, followed by Cronulla Sharks and the North Queensland Cowboys. 2 live games for you in the morning on Saturday at 8:30. Then on Sunday at 10:30, Penrith against Melbourne Storm. And on Monday at 8 o'clock, Parramatta against South Sydney. Fantastic action from Australia, and it will have to go some to match this. Leeds 10, Bradford 6 at half-time in front of this all-ticket sellout crowd at Headingley to kick off the Easter weekend. And what a game we are seeing. Leeds Rhinos under the control this season of Tony Smith, and fantastic first half from them, and of course from their opposition just down the corridor here at Headingley, the Bradford Bulls, coached by Brian Noble. All right, the completed sets might not be as the coach would want, but the skill that we've seen from both of these sides has been absolutely wonderful, and the work that is being done by both sets of forwards, by the backs, by everyone out there. It's a joy to be here. It's a privilege to be at Headingley tonight to watch this. Paul Cullen's given up his night off to be with us. Well worth it. I mean, you couldn't buy this, could you?
To be honest, a game I would class as almost perfect. The commitment from both sides has been fantastic, and to be honest, I really do think the man of the moment tonight has been the referee. To keep control of this game at this speed and to let it flow as he has done is remarkable. And Steve Ganson's had his critics, but he can't have many tonight. He's been world class.
He has been world class, and only 4 penalties in the game. The game has been clean as a whistle, to be fair. It has. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Steve Ganson, let me say this, but it's refereed itself because the players aren't interested in any stupid stuff.
Well, again, the player, the team that cracks is going to feel very, very sorry in the morning, because this is a first-class game.
And only 4 scrums in the first half, Steve-O. The pace, just non-stop.
Oh, it's unbelievable, and the skills out there, but aren't they bashing each other up? I love it. It's absolutely sensational. I don't think I've enjoyed a game for many, many a month. It has been superb, but as I mentioned, plenty of skills when you thought about it. And it was wonderful skills by Maguire straight away, wasn't it? Look at this, he knows this. They work on this in the training paddock. Okay, you get the luck, you force it, and they scored it. Dunham was on hand to do it. But what a bit of skill from Robbie Paul. I'd only just mention, this guy's starting for the first time this season. 1 dummy, 2 dummy, and then drags them in. Shontaine Harpy does absolutely wonderful here. Vinacolo, who's had a great game, you know, both in attack and defence. But this dummy from Maguire, super. Paul Cullen, I stated that he should have been picked for the 3rd test. He's good enough for Great Britain, surely.
Well, he's got to put himself in the frame for international selection this time around. Possibly a fraction too early last year, Mike, but the kid's coming of age. Not too long ago, we were commentating on the Academy Super League on Sky Sports, and Danny Maguire was the star of that show only a season, 2 seasons ago. Well, he's here in the big time, and it won't be too far away that he's playing international football.
Big call then from both Paul Cullen and Steve-O for Danny Maguire to force his way into the international scene. That's all for the future. For the present, Phil Clark, I think we have to take our hats off to both these sides.
We do. I think that Leeds just started this game so quickly, and it's forced Bradford to try and live with them, which I think they struggled. The stats you've seen have shown that Bradford have had to make more tackles and have actually missed more tackles than Leeds, and that's just because of the intensity and the quality of the game that the Rhinos began with. Even from the kick-off, really, when we're seeing the highlights that we picked out from the first half, on the 5th tackle, really, from the very first set of the game, you saw the adventurous nature and the skillful way in which Leeds were prepared to play the game. They kept the ball alive until there was no better option, then they put a kick in deep to put pressure on Withers, which has been a feature, really, of the first half. Whenever Leeds have kicked the ball to Bradford, it's been on their own terms, really, with a chase down to prevent the back 3 fielders, really, coming up with good runs. That was the only handling error from Leeds inside their own half. It put them under a bit of pressure, but after that it was Leeds' turn to put the pressure onto the Bradford Bulls, and really that has been the way it's gone. I'm sure Brian Noble and the Bradford camp will be glad to get the breath at half time to regroup for a second half.
Only 4 points in this one at half time. What's happening elsewhere? Hull 22, Castleford 0 at half time at the KC Stadium, and London are fighting back against the Wildcats. London 6, Wakefield 14, half-time score from Griffin Park. 3 matches, the first 3 of the Easter programme tonight, and then of course we have 3 more tomorrow. Saints against Wigan, top of the bill here on Sky Sports. Well, should we wrap this thing up and give it to Danny Maguire now? Because there's the prize that goes to the man of the match. And from the comments from Paul Cullen and Steve-O during the course of that first half, and indeed the commentary about his wonderful try and the fact that he created the first one, I think it's the watch that Danny Maguire will lose rather than someone else take it off him. We shall see. Who's going to win the match, though? That's the important issue. Leeds are ahead at half-time.
Watch live as I gamble everything I own on a single spin of roulette.
Help Ashley decide. Press the red button now or text Vegas, a space, then red, black, or don't do it to 83088. Double or nothing. 9 o'clock this Easter, Sky One Sunday.
Voice serve is changing into something bigger and better. Wanna do. Go, go, go!
What's going on?
Hurry up!
Let's go, come on!
What the hell is he doing?
There's no holding back.
In the future, everyone's glasses will automatically adjust to changing light and block out harmful UV rays that can damage the eyes. But for those with transitions lenses, the future is already here. Ask your optician, because the danger is real now, and so is the protection. Transitions, right in any light.
Every leaf, every flower, every penalty spot, every Bishop of Llandaff, every secret den, every moving in present your mum bought you. Together, we can improve the health of every single garden in Britain. Westland, making British gardens healthier.
The new
hit US series, exclusive to Sky One.
You walk around my casino with a cheating device, and you go in jail.
James Caan stars in all new Las Vegas. Premieres 10 o'clock Tuesday, Sky One.
If it's happening in rugby league, we have it covered here on Sky Sports, both sides of the world. Good Friday wouldn't be the same without Saints and Wigan. It's a 12:30 date, I trust, on Sky Sports 1. And to round the Easter programme off, we have Bradford again on Easter Monday against the Saints at 12:30 Sky Sports 1. And on Tuesday, Castleford will take on London. And at the moment, that is an absolutely crucial match for those two. It's an 8 o'clock start, and that's on Sky Sports 1 as well. I have a feeling that things surely won't get much better than this, or will they? Leeds 10, Bradford 6. We're about to get the second half underway. The biggest rugby local derby in either code anywhere in the world. That's the boast of Gary Hetherington, the chief executive of the Leeds Rhinos. And these 21,000 plus supporters in here tonight would not argue with him at all. And I don't think even we would, Steve-O.
I certainly would. It has been a wonderful turnout. We fully expected it. And I must say it's quite easy for me to concur with Paul Cullen. The official tonight, Steve Ganson, has played superbly. He's allowed a lot of things that he could have blown up. He's allowed the advantage, and it's great to see. Maybe the referees are getting it right.
40 minutes remaining. Leeds ahead by 4 points. Kevin Sinfield gets us underway for the start of the second half. The ball has bounced in the Bradford half of the field, and it was a very good job, but the Leeds players weren't as quick as the Bradford defenders were then. Well, they were close.
That's amazing. They were slow to start, weren't they? The first 10 minutes of the first half, Bradford looked all at sea. And then again from the kickoff, nobody wanted to say it's mine. Should never allow the ball to bounce from a kickoff.
That's a great run from Radford. And a good tackle by Sinfield round the legs, and Ward finished him off. Last tackle here, opening set of 6 of the second half. Deacon's kick out wide is looking for Tavita Vaikona, and that has bounced off Keith Senior. And who wants it? Marcus Bai does.
Did well there, Senior. Didn't panic. He knew that he had not made a play for the ball.
Ward again for Leeds.
A little bit of a handbags there with Leon Price and Marcus Bai.
We're watching the best defence, by the way, tonight in the Super League, the Bradford Bulls. Just 36 points conceded, and I think I'm right in saying that the tries that they have conceded tonight brings their tally of tries conceded only to 8 in the Super League so far. So that's the best defence. But Leeds, they boast the best attack. There's a Bradford player down injured. Vernon makes the break.
It's a hooker. Aaron Smith. He's in a lot of trouble. He's jogging back now. Oh, what a bounce!
It was Maguire's kick, and that's come up. It'll be. Oh, did Bai get that down? This is a big call for Steve Frost, tonight's video referee.
If there was any interference in back play, first of
all. Well, was anybody held back?
Back play.
He's onside. That is no problem. Well, he certainly took him out. So that should have been a penalty. That's a mistake.
Could have been a knock-on anyway.
Yeah. I think the grounding's all right. They're all onside here. But he's taken out. No doubt about it. Before that, with his not the best attempt to. That's all right, I think.
I think there's a knock-on by Marcus Bai, though.
Yep, just before it here.
And did Vaikona take Keith Senior out?
No, but I think before it, and this is a knock-on, I think, came from Marcus Bai. But was it intentional? Was he involved in the tackle? You know, The interpretation, I think he's going to give it.
I think he's happy enough.
Yeah.
He's just looking at the grounding.
Fingertips, control, I've seen them given. He's in control there, he's on control there, he's in control there, and that is fingertip time. I'm going to go TRY. I'm going to put the house on this. Yep. Doesn't bobble, as far as I'm concerned. It squeezes away from the fingertips, and to me that's sufficient downward pressure.
But was there a knock-on in back play?
I'm going to
Marcus Bai waits.
I'll throw the bike in as well. TRY.
And it is! The try is given to Marcus Bai. That's try number 7 of the year for him. Well, Brian Noble just looks and wonders, but the try stands.
Well, even if the try was eliminated out, I'm sure that they would have brought it back, because Maguire, the kicker, was certainly taken out. Bit iffy on all accounts. There it is. The kicker, Maguire.
Well, I think there's a knock-on there.
Well, it certainly
that's a knock-on.
But does he know that he's doing it? Is he going into the tackle?
Of course he does. Look at the hands. Watch the hands here.
But what about this then?
Yeah, that's a penalty, no doubt.
Okay.
But it shouldn't have been a try. I think that's a knock-on. Anyway, it's not us that matters. It's Steve Cross, the referee, in the video. And he's given the try, and Leeds increase their advantage, courtesy of Marcus Bai.
As you've always said, Eddie, read it in the newspapers tomorrow.
Oh, Sinfield hits the post. 14-6 at Headingley. Leeds inch towards what would be a famous victory for them. They haven't beaten Bradford in 2 years.
Oh, there's a long way to go yet, Eddie.
But an 8-point lead at this stage is absolutely priceless.
And the Leeds players know that quite a few times last year they held a commanding lead only to submit to the opposition late in the game.
Langley tackles Burrow. Here is McDermott. He's tangling with Anderson and Fielden. Down he goes. Here's Richie Mathers. Richard Mathers, of course, who was at Warrington before Paul Cullen got to the club last year on loan. This is Ward. He gets them to the halfway line. 14 breaks from Leeds.
I bet he wishes he's still there. He's shown a lot of quality, hasn't he, tonight?
Ferner. Almost away from Peacock. Not scored yet in 2004, David Ferner. He's created plenty. Kick down the line. Withers waits. Untidy bounce. Marcus Bai with a great tackle.
Did well though, Withers. Took the step, made sure he got in the field of play. But look at the Bradford players, slow to get back yet again.
Let's get down to Bill on the sideline. Half-time news, Bill.
Eddie, both these sides recognising that this is really going to be a battle of attrition at this early stage of the season. Their conditioning is going to be critical. Both camps pride themselves on how they've prepared for this, and it's who stays the course the best, I think. Already 1 or 2 casualties. The latest, Aaron Smith, took a nasty bang on the head. Robbie Paul, who was just having a breather, quickly pressed back into service.
It's with Deacon now for Bradford. Here is Anderson. He tried to run all over the top of Dunham, and it was a brave tackle. And here is Robbie Paul.
He's lost it.
And I think Danny Ward's in all sorts of trouble. I think he's pulled a hamstring. He could hardly get down to that.
And Dunham's groggy.
And Ferner's on his knees.
He doesn't know where he is. The pace of this game. He got a stray knock from his own player, did Ward. And yet again, wonderful experience play there by Keith Senior. He did it 4 times in the first half. Could see that his forwards were struggling, and he gets in there. He's looking for work.
Ball goes to ground untidily. Ward looks like he's all right. He's still hobbling though. As he walks away from that play, the ball, Ferner hands it on to Mathers, and Mathers almost through. A very important tackle by Deacon. Here goes Robbie Burrow.
Wonderful work from Burrow there. Quick play of the ball. They know that Bradford are a big side. You've got to keep them running all night.
Maguire, a kick into the empty space, and Vicona collects it, and is trapped in goal. They're going to get another set of 6. Marcus Bai, the willing chaser.
Great tactics yet again. If you can get the consecutive set of 6, it really takes the petrol out of the tank for the opposition. Nicely worked, good chase. Kick's only as good as that chase, and Marcus Bai superbly. He knows they're in a lot of trouble. He knows that all the composure and the experience is needed now from his Bradford side. They have the ability, there is no doubt. We've already seen that. The skills of Robbie Paul in the first half created that try.
And he is, of course, Brian Noble, the current coach of the year, and has an 80% winning ratio to his name. And he was absolutely full of it when I spoke to him this week. Couldn't wait for this match to start. That was a great ball from Maguire to Ferner, and a very important tackle from Robbie Paul. Leeds asking all the questions at the moment. Maguire again. Burrow directing the operations. McDermott now.
Get the impression that
pumping.
Leeds now are running the angles.
Oh, he nearly lost that, Barry.
Never played it.
Burrow to Sinfield. Here's Duneman. And Duneman with the kick again to test Nicolo.
Oh, beautiful tackle.
Another set of 6 coming up for the Rhinos.
Chev Walker, superb. Smile on the face of the big fella.
Well, they're relieved that Nicolo just managed to defuse the kick. They settle for that, although they've got to face another set of 6. This will be tackle number 13 in quick succession coming against them now.
And normally when you go into the third set of 6, you come up with points. Tony Smith will be hoping so, and he'll be pleased with the fact that Chev Walker didn't lose his cool. He waited until the winger got the ball and his feet hit the ground before he hit him. Otherwise, he could have been penalised.
Had to be a good drop out and was to halfway. Poaching drives it back in again for Leeds on the first. Burrow waits at dummy half once more. Here's Barry McDermott. Clattered to the floor by 3. Burrow and Ward. Oh, great pass off the deck. And he finds Sinfield, who in turn finds Poaching. And Poaching all wrapped up by Langley and Deacon. Sinfield, the captain of Leeds. Ferner. 4 tackles gone. Bradford having to work overtime in defence. Burrow, Duneman. Scampering run from Duneman. Spins to the ground under the challenge from Rob Parker. This is the last. And Sinfield will hoist the kick wide again. Looking for Marcus Bai. He finds Keith Senior. Ball comes back. This is Mathers.
Oh, he knocked on.
Maguire just couldn't take the pass.
Well, they did well there. There was only one man, and it was the big fella Keith Senior that stole the football. But the kicking game from Maguire and Kevin Sinfield for the Rhinos tonight have been superb.
Let's get a comment from Phil.
Eddie, you don't become the world champions at anything without being special in one or two ways, and the Bradford Bulls have just shown how special they are compared defensively there. To withstand that sort of pressure against a quality outfit like Leeds has got to show the class they are.
Oh, what a ball from Leon Price to Withers. Important ankle tap by Mathers, finished off by Cummins. Back to you in a minute, Phil. Let's see how this develops. It's with Nicolo, and wide it goes to Shontaine Harpy. Here is Jamie Langley forward.
That was forward a mile.
It was the first one, I think.
Yeah. Not the last one. Little doubt about it. This is the pass that's forward. Yeah, you can see there he was stopped virtually on the line, and it's dipping forward all the time. No momentum because he gets stopped.
Right, back to Phil.
I just think again there Bradford have shown why they're a class side to be able to defend on the line and then go the length of the field. They were denied by the forward pass, but they really are a quality outfit, and if the Leeds Rhinos needed any confirmation of just how dangerous Bradford are, those last 30 seconds have demonstrated it, their ability to go the length of the field and potentially score. But Steve O's hit the nail right on the head. With the quality of the Leeds kicks, it's been almost impossible for Bradford to assert any pressure on the Leeds defence.
This is McKenna. It's been all Leeds just about in this second half. Burrow going down the short side to Maguire. He hands it on to Senior.
Great tackle by Vicona then. Knew the little short pass was going to go to the big fella and cut him out.
This is... Oh, McDermott, he thought about the offload.
They can do without that. At 14-6, they're controlling the game. They don't have to force the pass.
Duneman saw the gap.
Nearly got through it as well.
Parker with an important tackle again. How many times have I said that tonight about the Bradford defence? Sinfield, angle kick, inviting Walker to have a run, but it's collected by Withers, the Bradford fullback.
That's another factor that Tony Smith will be happy with, is that the chase has been going though. They've allowed the big fella to get a run.
Keith Senior's in a bit of trouble over on the far side, trying to run an injury off.
And not only that, I noticed that Poaching is also in trouble. There he is involved in the tackle.
Let's have a look at the other scores, Steve-O, before you come in again. 24-0, Hull over Castleford. This is Peacock, and London clawing back into the match against Wakefield. 20 points to 16, Wakefield lead. Here at Headingley, it's 14-6 Leeds. And Fielden having a bit of a dig at Danny Ward as he went down. Deacon, measured kick, and Mathers will have to run this out.
That's much better. Brian Noble will be lifted by that.
Couldn't get away from Langley, the Leeds fullback. Ryan Bailey.
Johnson really had a good go at the head then.
Ward
swinging him round.
Lost it.
Oh, he said play on.
No, he has got the call from his touch judge far side.
He's got it right.
They're in electronic communication with each other, and the touch judge's call was knock off. But Burrow had other ideas.
Yeah, beep beep looked as though he was away. Oh well. Did the initial ball when it hit the ground, was it pulled? I think it was pulled by Deacon, you know. This could very well have been given the nod by the touch judge, but he went for the negative.
Robbie Paul dancing in front of Walker, and Cummings gives it to Harpy. Harpy can't get away from Poaching.
It was stripped, and has got away with it.
Parker for Bradford.
Great work from Paul Deacon there. Took a big gamble.
What strength there from Parker. Here's Deacon. Tried to get the pass wide, and the call was from outside. And Reardon is picked up and dumped.
Well, they certainly had the measure out there.
Price.
You talk about this second phase, they really need it. And here it comes from Deacon.
That's a great kick. Harpy!
Great
for
try.
Bradford.
Great try.
He hasn't given it. It's another decision for Steve Cross, because he wants the offside being checked out for certain. Offside or onside.
Well, he's certainly been on form in the second half as well. We gave the top plaudits for Leeds' kicking game, but that was superb, wasn't it?
Well, Vainicolo was actually in front of Shontaine Harpy, and Vainicolo's a mile onside. There he is.
Yeah, he's fine. This will be given. Yep. By the time that ball goes off his boot, this is TRY, they're back.
Shontaine Harpy marks his return to the first team with a try in the second half here. The former New Zealand Warrior has put Bradford back in the hunt.
Well, we made the point, didn't we, that Barry McDermott nearly lost it, and then Ward did lose it. Gave Bradford the impetus to go forward. That is a good try. Wonderful kick. What's the backspin on this? Just stop. Here we go. Boom. Spin back. Clunk. Oh, great stuff. Skill factor tonight. Just superb.
Shontaine Harpy's try, and Deacon to try and convert and bring it back to a 2-point ball game. Deacon's kick's on its way. He's kicked it. This fella kicks them from everywhere. 14-12 to Leeds. Paul Cullen, are you a man with the smart money? Where would it be going now?
Well, the only money I've got at the moment, Eddie, is a coin that I'd toss in the air to try and find out who is going to be man of the match. Gentlemen of the press, you've got a very, very tough job. Spare a thought for two guys from both sides. Shontaine Happy and Robbie Paul from the Bradford Bulls. Been out for months. First game, full game, back in at this pace. Chris McKenna for the Leeds Rhinos. And what about Danny Ward from Leeds? He must be giving away 4 stones to the likes of Joe Van Ganaan, about 6 inches. He's having a monster of a game.
Yes, there's some fantastic performances here, and this is Vicona. And Bradford have the sniff of something now.
They certainly do, and Leeds, they've just decided to drop off the man carrying the football. They were so eager in moving up as one unit. Now they're just hesitating slightly. And this is where Robbie Paul can come into his own. He's controlling things there at the dummy half position.
Picks it up with one hand, gets it wide to Peacock.
That's the way to run onto the football.
Last tackle though for Bradford. Once again Robbie Paul down the short side. And this is Reardon. And can't get the ball away. That was the last tackle, it's the turnover. Down to Bill.
Eddie, Paul Cullen just picked out Danny Ward for an inspirational performance for the Rhinos, but unfortunately for Ward, he's just having to leave the field just in the top of your picture there, and he's going to be replaced by Chris Feather. And Danny Ward has picked up some sort of leg injury, and he really has run his blood to water for the Rhinos tonight.
He has. I think that came early in the second half. He seemed to struggle at one stage to try and get down to drop on a loose ball, and my original feeling was it was a hamstring, Steve-O, but if it was a tweaked hamstring, wow, he's lasted some time, hasn't he?
Well, not only that, it was just after you mentioned that he took the ball up. He was looking for extra effort.
As Paul Cullen said, the young man has had a monster of a game tonight.
They all have. They've all played their part.
Bailey here.
Though the man involved with the tackling there, Paul Johnson, he gave away a silly penalty.
He threw the ball at one of the Leeds players.
It gave them in such a good position.
Talking about throwing the ball away, Sinfield nearly did that. Oh, he's got somebody for a knock on.
Well, how can
Tony Smith's perplexed.
Yes,
so am I.
Safe. Knock on from Leeds, so it's his call.
Touch judge's call, he says. Knock on from Leeds.
How on earth has he got that? He went backwards.
Okay.
I mean, his body language and everything. Well, how he's come up with a knock on from that.
Well, he says that Feather's knocked it on. But Feather was facing his own line. I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, so did I. And I think Steve Ganson had a little bit of a look at the official then.
Well,
the touch judge on that side. It was definitely a call from the touch judge.
Well, you heard it from Steve Ganson's mouth. Touch judge's call, he said. Here's Michael Withers. Oh, great tackle from Duneman. Robbie Paul. Peacock.
He's lifted them, you know, Robbie Paul. He's had to go into the dummy half position, and the forwards, they're moving very quickly. Quick play the ball, and they're catching Leeds out.
Here's Withers again. Remember the match he had not long ago in the grand final, Michael Withers, when he got the hat-trick. It was against Wigan a couple of years ago. This is Leon Price. Here is Vinacolo.
Got to be a good kick now, surely to the corner.
Champions, Bradford playing like champions. And there is the kick to the corner. And it's one for Marcus Bai and Vicona, and the tackle not completed. Bai does brilliantly well, gives it to Maguire. And Johnson gets an important tackle in.
Was he stopped? No, he fell off him, did the winger. Oh, this game's got everything.
And it's got still just over 20 minutes to go. But we posed the question on Boots and All on Wednesday night, where are they now? Where are all the players who have hung up their boots? Boy, I bet they'd love to be playing in this. Or would they? Phil Clark, do you think they would?
I'll tell you what, I don't know if they could stand the pace here, really. I think that the speed of the game means that more holes are going to open, and we've just got one here.
We have. It's with Walker. Vinacolo got to him, the ball flung inside to Sinfield, and Kevin Sinfield for Leeds.
Oh, great way. Full back Withers. He was looking for support with Sinfield.
Maguire. There's the kick to the in goal. Too deep. Phil, back to you. You don't fancy playing in this then?
I don't think I could last the first 20 minutes, never mind the last 20 minutes. I just think that kick's take a lot of pressure off. But just look how quickly Robbie Paul, as you say, back into the action. That's why he's such a champion player, because given a challenge like this now, they rise to the occasion. And there'll be some champions appear in the next 20 minutes. I think more holes opening up around the dummy half area, and you see maybe Burrows for Leeds or Robbie Paul for Bradford dominating in that area.
In the last quarter here, in the last quarter in the other matches as well. Castleford on the board, 26-4 though, against Hull at the KC Stadium. And Wakefield have increased the lead, 26-16 after an hour down in the capital. London and Castleford, we will see them on Tuesday in their next match here on Sky Sports. They're in a spot of bother, those two. It is another massive match on Tuesday night in a weekend of absolutely mammoth matches from the Tetley Super League. Price with a high kick. Mathers is safe under that.
Beautiful high kick as well, but notice the control there. Richard Mathers had his eyes on the football at all time, and then he leaped, arms raised, just to protect the ball into his chest.
Cummins was nearly away, and Mathers was nearly away then, and he's picked up a bang on the head from Leon Price. Nothing illegal about that challenge.
Nothing wrong with the tackle whatsoever, just fell awkward.
McKenna.
I think it's going to get down to composure now. We know that they're going to tire, and that means there'll be more errors, more mistakes, especially in defence. Who has the composure not to panic?
Maguire with a kick through again. It's a beauty, and Vinacola will have to work it back. The chase is good. Feather.
Well, if they got paid on overtime, this fella's well in front.
Harpy, grounded by Burrow.
Leslie Vinacola has done so much work.
Here comes Anderson.
I'd love to see the amount of metres forward that he's had to do, and that was a mile forward. Well, they get caught every now and again. The delayed pass, all sides do it. They try to kid the opposition, but that was definitely forward. A little bit of handbags at 3 or 4 paces whilst the replay is going on. Nothing sensational, just a few threats. Up to the official, of course.
I think Robbie Paul is furious with himself for that pass. Leeds with the possession, and Maguire's got them on their feet, and Maguire, he has ghosted through them all. Second try for Danny Maguire. What a try from Maguire. He's not given it yet.
There'll be some controversy here, because the referee was not aware that the ball was being put in. Now this is going to be very interesting.
We just want to have a look. If Keith Senior took out Vinacola in any way, okay, before we award the try.
Did Keith Senior take Vinacola in any way is the question being asked.
No, it's the other way around, because Senior's stopping and he's nowhere involved in it. That has nothing to do with it. But if we go back to the scrum, there's nothing wrong with it. Look, he didn't even know it had gone in. Maguire had the football before the referee had virtually blown the whistle. How quick thinking is that? This is a try, no worries about it. The ball has gone, and it's virtually in Maguire's hands. And Bradford was still involved in getting their scrum form. How quick thinking is that? No doubt about it, TRY.
Danny Maguire again. Well, I said we ought to put gift wrapping on the watch and hand it to him at half-time. It's not our vote, of course, it's all down to the members of the British media. But the name Maguire would be at the forefront of every mind tonight. What a performance from this young man.
Well, the referee, Ganter, couldn't believe it. He was on his way to the try line. He turned around and said, how quick was that? He went in, went out. Whoa! Bradford said, what's happened? Has this ball come out? Yes, it has. No way in the world they can get anywhere near to it.
And as Maguire picked that ball up, everybody on the far side in the main stand was on their feet. He's that sort of a player, and Sinfield has added the extras. 20 points to 12, Leeds back in charge. After arguably Bradford's best spell of the match.
Well, you see it here. It's gone. Bradford say, has that ball gone? Paul Deacon couldn't believe it.
The referee, I don't know whether he blew the whistle, he puffed the cheeks out.
Oh, he blew it, but Maguire
by the time he'd blown it, the ball was out.
Yeah, Maguire had it. He turned around, and then that's the reason. I mean, the Bradford back three, they didn't know what was happening.
I wonder if they, because they heard the whistle after the ball had come out of the scrum, stopped.
Either way, tries on the board, but it certainly confused them.
And here's a penalty for a high shot by Anderson on Feather.
Well, that's the last thing you want. Brian Noble has to get the message out now. But with only 8 points adrift, right over the top. And what a great night Chris Feather's having as well. He's certainly put in a lot of work. Couple of clean breaks. Now then, the big question for so many years, Eddie, have Leeds now got the killer punch? Can they put them to bed?
Well, Diskin trying to do that. Here goes Burrow. Here is Feather. Chris Feather. There's the blow. There is the killer punch. And Chris Feather scores a try. And if the questions were being asked about Leeds, I think they've just come up with the biggest answer for a long, long time. Chris Feather with his second try of the year. He got his first start at the weekend and he scored a try then. And here he is again tonight.
Oh, wonderful effort. And he's certainly not light as his name suggests. This is the heavy Feather. Bang! What a great effort. He knew all the time that he was going to get there. They went a little bit low on him, and he had the strength. The thighs just brushed them away. Get out of it. I want those. Wonderful 4 points, and he has them. Big night. Once again, we see youngsters coming to the fore. Quick play the ball. Quick instinct. Yet again. From Rob Burrow. This game's had everything in it.
Been fantastic. And the crowd richly and royally entertained, as have our viewers on Sky Sport tonight. As Sinfield adds 2 more points to the Leeds total. They might just have it in the bag now. 26-12 to the Rhinos. The first win against Bradford Bulls is beckoning for 2 years for Leeds. Bradford got so close. They might yet come back. Short kick-off. It was offside. I think it was a knock-on, and if it was a knock-on...
Oh, it's on.
If it was a knock-on, the Bradford man was offside.
Well, Tony Smith should get the message out, say, hey fellas, have a little squint at the scoreboard. It's 26-12. The last thing we want to do is get involved in an arm wrestle. We want more points. Take it nice and steady. Looks like the fullback Richard Mathers has been called to the official. This is the kick-off. The good one too. Go for it, and Price gets to it, so that's where the first knock-on is. It doesn't have to hit the ground.
That's offside there.
Either way, they're going to get possession of Leeds, and then Leon Price didn't like it.
He's given the scrum.
As he's given the right decision as well, the knock-on.
Nice and cool. Okay, here we go. Let's get going.
Well, the scrum goes down, and Burrow gets the possession from it, and from the base of the scrum, injects pace. Here he goes again. Marcus Byes outside him. He's not tackled. Now he is.
Didn't he do well He could have just lost control there and gone all the way and tried to throw a silly pass. But he knows that possession is important. They're learning fast to the Rhinos.
The breaks, 22 of them. Here's Feather again. He wants more.
It's incredible to think that Bradford, up until a few moments ago, was still in this match.
Senior. McKenna. Off. One knee to Mathers.
They're out on their feet, Bradford. They have been stretched, put under all sorts of pressure, and this long ball yet again, he's finding them out.
Ferner, that just slightly lost momentum for Leeds, the pass from Maguire then.
Oh,
he's lost it as well.
Well, that's the last thing they wanted. Tony Smith would have wanted them to get that ball right in the in-goal area.
Well, law of averages would tell you that this has to be Leeds Rhinos' night, Paul Cullen. Can they, I was going to say hang on, can they capitalise on this lead now?
I'm absolutely certain they can hold on to this. They have some world-class players and some world-class youngsters. I read an article this week which questioned whether Iestyn Harris could return from rugby union, come back to finish his contract off at Leeds. And the question said, would he get back in? Would they want him? And I thought it absolutely ridiculous at the time. Well, I'm not too sure at the moment. Richie Mathers, Danny Maguire, Rob Burrows, they are producing world-class performances.
They are, and there of course was also a report that Iestyn was on his way to Warrington. That was quickly squashed by your club.
I think it came out on the 1st of April, Eddie.
There are no fools in Warrington, surely, Paul.
Well, there's one or two.
There were plenty of things said on 1st of April, wasn't there, Eddie?
This is Richard Moore.
What a game. They've got a chance at arm now, Bradford. They've got to keep it alive.
That's what they're trying to do. Here's Leon Price. This is Parker. Walker's all round him. It's been a great display from Leeds.
Certainly has. Chev Walker has worked overtime, and so is centre partner Keith Senior. I mentioned already the times that he's gone looking for the football.
Vainicolo! They can't stop him, can they? Yes, they can!
Unbelievable stuff there.
This is Robbie Paul giving it with Deacon wide. Riordan!
What a hit!
Vicona is over!
Oh,
he's not giving it again.
Please, for certain, not on the opposite side.
Just couldn't check, he just wants to check the ground. He couldn't see it go down cleanly. But it has.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let's try time. Tony Smith will not be happy with that.
But Brian Noble will.
Of course he will, they're still back in it. Do they have the time? TRY goes up on the screen.
Well, Deacon will be in a hurry to get this conversion over. It's 26-16, kick to come.
Well, they went so close, didn't they? The Leeds scrambling defence. You've got to say it was brilliant. Brian Noble is trying to get it out wide, and before they can take a breath, they do get it out wide. They're chancing their arm, keeping it alive. They really should have closed them down there, and there, and there, and there. That will be horrific for the Rhinos players at training. Tony Smith will be showing this plenty of times. There were no less than 7 opportunities to deck the man with a football and failed every time.
And the kick from Deacon is a good one. It's not over yet. The fat lady might be warming up, but she ain't singing. She might be clearing her throat though, Phil.
Well, to put the coat back on, Eddie, because with the side of the quality of Bradford, they've got such skills, they could score 8 tries in 8 minutes. I'm not sure they will today with the way that Leeds have defended. Last week, for the first time in almost 10 years, they kept their opponents trialless throughout the game, and they've been outstanding today defensively. I know they've tired there, and that was some pretty special play from Bradford to get over. But there'll be I just really be amazed here now if Bradford can come up with 2 scores in what time we've got left.
Well, you never know. And here goes Parker again. Langley inside to Paul. On it goes to Price. And this is Peacock. Great scream of a forward pass. No wonder some clubs try to put their home supporters down the side.
That's better defence there. And it needed to be as well. Well, they may not come away with the spoils, Eddie, Bradford tonight, but I know one thing. Brian Noble will be so happy with the return to top form of the skipper, Robbie Paul. His injection at dummy half in the second stanza has been absolutely superb. He's controlled things. He got the forwards rolling forward, getting over the advantage line.
He's not stopped yet, Marcus Bai. Look at this defence from Moore and Langley. By the way, we have just seen the 99th try of Tavita Vaikona's Bradford career. 100 beckons for Vaikona here at Headingley or at Odsal on Monday against St Helens. Take your pick. I think Bradford would love to see him come up with it tonight. Maguire goes for a 40-20, but it goes down the centre of the field. It's into open space though, and Withers lollops after it.
That's what he wanted. Make sure that the ball bounced there. In several occasions, especially in the second half, where Leeds have been able to make sure that that ball doesn't go right down the throat of the opposition. That gives them extra yards to make sure the chase is good.
6 minutes to go. 8 points the difference. Shontaine Harpy's off with rib problem. Bill is just chasing the news. Bear in mind they all have to back up over this weekend with 2 matches.
That's high from Ferner. He's got away with it. And Johnson really felt that. He's a bit dazed, is Johnson.
He'll have a sore throat in the morning. This is Reardon. And somehow Vaikona hangs on to the pass. And here goes Vaikona. Vaikona's through again. Mathers stops in the offloads to Price. And that's going to be 6 to go.
Do they know it? Do they know it? They're panicking.
6 to go. Leon Price, Jamie Langley. Langley.
What a finish. You've got to take your hat off to this Bradford Bulls side.
They're champions of the Super League. They're champions of the world. And they're playing like it now. But Leeds have held them out. Can they hang on for 5 more minutes?
They're out on their feet, Leeds.
Price is the dummy half. This is Paul Deacon. Wide it goes on the bounce. Wicked bounce. 2-0.
Knock on.
Reardon says it went backwards.
Just got a little touch to it. Well, it deserved the try. That's sufficient. Fingertips just nudge forward, then onto his leg.
I think Reardon had a case. Anyway, who's the man of the match? We've been saying all night there is one candidate standing head and shoulders above the others. Dave Hatfield, give us the verdict.
Well, Eddie, we certainly don't think that Shontaine Happy has looked like a player who's been out for a while. He's done some marvellous things. Amongst all these seasoned, experienced forwards, Chris Feather has stood out as the best of the bunch. But the award can only really go to one man, Danny Maguire. 2 wonderful instinctive tries, an educated boot in 2 more. Maguire has to be the man.
Thanks, David. Danny Maguire then gets the watch, as predicted. We'll have to get some Easter wrapping paper for him.
Well, no one could argue with the media on that one. He's been outstanding.
From start to finish.
Yep.
And he might still have a hand in the last 3.5 minutes of this. Feather trying to scramble his way a few more metres forward. This is the last. They've closed Rob Burrow down, a left footer. Not a bad kick, but Withers had moved into position for it. Now then, Bradford have to score this set of 6 if they're to have any chance at all.
Well, maybe the little chip over Richard Mathers is way back.
Langley. Final scores. Hull have beaten Castleford 26-4. And in London, Wakefield 39-16. Well, Castleford London is absolutely vital for those 2 clubs now on Tuesday. And it will be live on Sky Sports on Tuesday night at 8 on Sky Sports 1. Vaikona to Robbie Paul. Oh, wasted pass.
Well, that's the first mistake from Robbie Paul.
Stuart Fielden, they're harassing him. Can't get away from them. They've done a good job, Leeds, tonight.
Tony Smith would have got the message out, say, hey, come on. the last try that he allowed to Vidi Vicona. It was sheer strength, no doubt about it, but there were 7 occasions when they should have put it down.
Neat chip from Deacon.
Oh, great work from
Maguire did brilliantly well then.
Then again, that just shows you the quality of the player, not only when he's going forward, but he knew. Mentioned the fact that Richard Mathers was down deep for the kick, and the little chip over, and Maguire reads it, goes back, diffuses it. He's a thinker.
Marcus Bai at dummy half. Marcus Bai over the halfway line, straight into the chest of Leon Price. Phil Clark, what a start to our Easter programme.
Do you know, the great Elliot Hanley has been here, who's played for both these sides in the past, to witness this game today. And I'm sure he wouldn't have looked out of place. I mean, the players around him here today would have lived to his highest standards in the games that he played in this fantastic game. Really, really have been treated to the skill. Some people in rugby league talk about reducing the salary cap. Are you paying these players less? How you can justify that after those performances, I'm not sure.
We're here to that. Reduce the salary cap. You might just reduce the quality, and we have the quality in the Super League right now. Into the last minute, Leeds have secured a famous victory. Not even the world champions can score 8 points in the last 60 seconds. Leeds have won for the first time in 2 years against Bradford, and it will be they who maintain their 100% record at the top.
And it'll be a sweet win as well. They've worked hard as a unit.
Been a long time coming. A long time coming. But Bradford haven't given it all away yet. This is Fielden. He does 80 minutes week after week. What a hit though from Walker.
What about the work that this little fella's done as well? Rob Barrow getting involved in the defensive side. Look at him! He's throwing himself about as though he's a 19-stoner.
He's like a little gnat butting around all the trouble. Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul! Spinning away. Gets the pass to Withers.
That was forward a mile.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Leeds have won. And you can see what it means to the Rhinos. And what it means to their supporters. And doubtless what it means to their coach. The South Stand goes absolutely crazy, and Peacock is on his haunches. The defeat had to come for Bradford against Leeds sometime after winning 5 from 5 last year. Tonight it belongs to the Rhinos. What a game. What a match from 2 fine sides. And they have set the standard for the rest to follow during the course of this Easter bank holiday weekend. A memorable night. A truly memorable night at Headingley. All the tickets sold, a full house, over 21,000. And they have seen a vintage performance from one of the best youngsters knocking around. His name is Danny Maguire. He's the man of the match, and he's with Bill.
Oh, Danny boy, what a win.
Unbelievable, really. Atmosphere here tonight is just spurt lads on. We trained really well all week, you know, focused really well on this game, and you know, we've come good at the right time.
Having suffered against them last season, how sweet is this?
We haven't really talked much about last season. You know, it's a fresh year. We've got a fresh coach, and we've all got fresh ideas and fresh plans of where we want to go. But obviously, we're really pleased with this performance today. But there's still plenty of long way to go yet in this Super League, and you know, it's going to be the most consistent team that finishes on top.
Thanks, Danny. Let's just bring Leeds coach Tony Smith in. Tony, Danny got man of the match. As far as you're concerned, there must have been 17 men of the match out there.
It was a great effort, particularly after a few days recovery from our last game, so it was a big effort to turn around and face the Bulls and do a good job.
And what was the most pleasing element for you? Maybe the defence that you had to come up with at times in that game?
Oh yeah, all of it. I was happy with the way we attacked as well. We stuck to a plan there today, and that's something that we've been working on, and I was really happy that they stuck to their plan and got the money.
It's a win over Bradford
this early stage of the season? Is it 2 points and nothing more than that?
Oh, exactly right. It's not going to make or break either team's season. There's a lot of rugby league to play this year, and you know, we'll get back to work on Monday.
Thanks, Tony.
Great performance from the Rhinos. Well done, Tony Smith and the team. 26 points to 18. They've waited a long time, 2 years in fact, to celebrate victory over the Bradford Bulls, and they will celebrate tonight. And Danny Maguire, well, every one of the players on show this evening, absolutely fantastic. And doesn't that make sweet reading for Leeds and their supporters? They're top of the table, 100%, and they are there for the rest to try and catch. Wow, what a game, what a night. We thought it would be, and you know, the stars of the Super League, they never, ever let us down. Absolutely wonderful. Paul Cullen, I know that you have enjoyed every minute just as we have.
Well, I think I'll find Gary Hetherington and dip my hand in my pocket and pay the admission. I don't know how much it costs to get into a game of rugby league, but I tell you, every single penny's been worth it. That was a special night in front of a special crowd and a special performance. I think Steve Ganson has got himself up to the standard of the players of Super League. I think one or two of his assistants might need to get themselves up to speed as well. Don't guess decisions. If you can't see it, it's not clear, don't make the call, because the players deserve better.
They do. The players do deserve better. They don't deserve any better accolades than what we are giving them, Steve-O. It was memorable to be here.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, look, we're talking about wonderful athletes out there. Everybody did their part. Everybody did right into them. A lot of effort, but none more so than this guy. He was just absolutely wonderful. This is the try that he scores in the first half. Just give him half a chance and he will take it. And talk about quick. Boy, that came out. Ganson didn't know it was there, and there was absolutely no one. They caught Paul Cullen, they caught Bradford napping there.
Well, Leeds froze at St Helens in the Challenge Cup, and they have learnt the lessons. It's a hard lesson, they've learnt it well. They were first class, absolutely superb tonight. Often described, Leeds Rhinos, as having a little bit of a soft underbelly. Well, not any longer.
So you really feel that Johnny Smith has made the difference?
Well, Tony's done a lot of work, and I think the players have really addressed themselves after their disappointment of going out to Saints in the Challenge Cup. That was not the same performance that we saw at Nosey Road in the other competition.
And I'm rather surprised, Eddie, that he's given Mr. Ganson some accolades tonight. Well done.
Well, he deserves it. You know, he gets a bit of stick every now and again, and he's held that game well.
Well, someone had to give him a bit of praise. It might never ever have been Steve-O, but it was Paul Cullen and Steve-O tonight, to be fair. Well, they have set the tone for this weekend, and Saints and Wigan will pick up the baton and run with it. 12:30, Good Friday lunchtime, Sky Sports 1. Do not miss that. And don't miss either of these either. Bradford and Saints, Easter Monday. Can Bradford bounce back? 12:30, Sky Sports 1, and Castleford, London, Tuesday night, Sky Sports 1. And we have live Australian Rugby League for you, Saturday morning, 8:30, Sky Sports 3, a double header for 4 hours. And on Easter Sunday and Easter Monday, we back it up with 2 more matches for you. Can't be any better than that, can it? Wonderful service from both sides of the Rugby League world. Fantastic match here. See you tomorrow. the Rhinos 5 times last year. And this 21,300 sellout crowd, I think, will be treated to an absolutely magnificent match, watching Robbie Paul making his first start of the year. 2 appearances as substitutes so far. He broke his arm towards the back end of last year. Now he's back and fully fit. But the Rhinos, they will be hoping that home advantage will count. They won at Widnes on Sunday, just a 4-day turnaround. But Steve-O, this just could be Leeds Rhinos' defining moment of their season.
Certainly is, and I'm sure that Tommy Smith, the new coach, is fully aware of that. He'd have gone into the minds of these players. Forget about last season. Okay, 5 times against Bradford, they came away without the win. And it's important that they just push that aside. They know that Bradford have not been playing to their best form. The Bulls kicked off with a magnificent win in the World Club Championship against the Penrith Panthers. Then they just absolutely decimated Wigan. It looked as though they were going to continue on, and then there's been a wobble. I don't think there'll be a wobble tonight. Both sides will look towards their forwards. As ever, Bradford will be looking towards the pack to bully the opposition, and if they take control in the first 10-15 minutes, they could go on to win.
Fantastic welcome for the Rhinos as they trot out at Headingley for this, what many people say is their most important game of the year when they take on the Bradford Bulls. A winning start in the Super League for the Rhinos. 174 points scored at an average of 44 per game. 9 tries against Widnes, but they kept the opposition scoreless for the first time in Super League, and the first time away from home since November 91 when they beat Wigan 19-0. There's the man with a massive job. Steve Ganson is the man in the middle tonight, and we've seen Steve Ganson in the past, Steve-O, produce some rabbits out of the hat. Let's hope this evening isn't one of those.
Yeah, let's hope he doesn't try to imitate Tommy Cooper tonight, that is for sure. And I think Paul Cullen, our guest, has definitely made the point, is that the officials are clamping down on the round the play, the ball area. It's great for the fans as long as he keeps it going for the full 80 minutes. Let's have plenty of open play. Some wonderful players out there.
And we're underway in front of the biggest crowd of the year. And Leeds will have first use of the football, and Feather is tracked down by Stuart Fielden. First tackle of the match in front of this sellout crowd. Terrific to see, and of course another sellout on the way at Knowsley Road, lunchtime Good Friday when Wigan are in town. Early moments of the match here, so important for the forwards to get their first tackle in, for the backs to get their first run, for all the players to get the first touch of the football. David Ferner has done that now. He takes the last tackle, this opening set of 6. Diskin was the dummy half. Sinfield takes control. That's a great ball to Feather. They have a 3-man overlap. Ball inside to Duneman. It goes wide to Chris McKenna. And McKenna's kick is fielded by Michael Withers. But that was a fine break from Leeds on the last tackle when they ran it. Let's take a look at the sides. Mathers, Cummins, Walker Senior, By, Maguire and Duneman. The forwards, Bailey, Diskin, Feather, Ferner. McKenna gets his first run of the season. Sinfield's the captain. And the substitutes, Burrow, McDermott coaching, Ward, coach, Tony Smith facing Bradford for the first time as Leeds coach. The Bulls have Withers, Vicona, Johnson, Harpy returns, that's a boost. Vinacolo, Paul's the skipper and Deacon. The forward pack, Vanganar, Smith, Fielden, Parker, Peacock, Langley. Radford out injured. Price, Anderson, Reardon and Moore. First appearance of the season for him, waiting their opportunity on the bench for coach Brian Noble. That's Danny Maguire, just voted the Tetley Super League Player of the Month. Here's Chris McKenna, I beg your pardon, it was Richie Mathers. This is Diskin now, driving forward. And Diskin halted just inside his own half of the field.
Not surprisingly, both sides quite happy to just run one out from the dummy half position. In fact, the break from Feather has been the only time that we've seen the ball pass to a player on the outside.
Here's Feather again. He began the match last week for the first time in his Leeds career, has been used as a substitute all the way through prior to that. That's Duneman's high bomb, and Withers claims it airborne, and is tackled then by Ferner.
There's a big claim that the Leeds player was taken out. When that ball was high, it was Maguire, Danny Maguire, but the officials just waved it away. And he certainly was. Robbie Paul got the shoulder in, tipped him over. That could have well have been a penalty.
This is Paul Johnson, who 12 months ago might have been thinking about Saints Wigan on Good Friday. Now he's involved in this red-hot battle between Leeds and Bradford. The two biggest games of the Super League year on Sky over the next 24 hours. Here goes Fielden on the last tackle, just over the halfway line. Aaron Smith, the dummy half, gives it to Deacon. He will slide the kick through, and Cummins collects it near his own try line. Cummins preferred in the side to young Mark Calderwood at the moment.
That surprised me that they're kicking towards the experienced Francis Cummins. One would have expected that they would have been putting a lot of pressure on Marcus Bai. But we just saw two runs there.
Great defence here from Bradford, by the way. And this is Marcus Bai now. Fielden collared him. He was helped out by Van Ganaar.
It's in the pack that's going to be important for both these sides. They've got to really boss the middle of the park. We know that either side have got plenty of talent out wide, but they've got to make sure that they get that springboard right.
Big hoof downfield with some Sinfield. It's picked up by Michael Withers. Let's go to the sideline and join Bill Arthur in a moment. This is Vicona. Bill and Phil Clark, of course, keeping tabs on things at ground level for us tonight, as always. And it's a cauldron of an atmosphere at Headingley. This is Peacock. 10 metres inside the Leeds half of the field. Smith to Robbie Paul, and he finds Fielden on the angled run. That's a good halt though by Diskin.
Interesting to see how Robbie Paul has been utilised as the first receiver, bringing people back on the inside, on the angle.
Jamie Langley, 20 metres away on the last tackle, plays the ball. Here is Deacon, he shaped a kick, then got the pass away to Jamie Peacock, and Peacock stabs it in towards the in-goal area, and Richie Mathers is content with Marcus Bai to allow it to run dead in goal.
Under a lot of pressure, Jamie Peacock is not the nominated kicker. They just got it all mixed up there, did the Bulls. But I must say I was surprised that even when Peacock did put the kick in, the chase from Bradford was very poor indeed. You saw two Leeds players very slowly watch that ball go dead in goal.
Here's Ryan Bailey now for the Leeds Rhinos.
A lot of the Bradford fans, Eddie, they've been saying to me that of late they do not seem to have much enthusiasm. They've struggled over the last fortnight.
They must have enthusiasm on a night like this, surely. This is Maguire. Here is Keith Senior. Senior trying to go down the outside, but good tackle by Paul Johnson. That'll be a great battle tonight, Senior and Johnson. This is on the last. Maguire's kick is sliced into the air and is claimed brilliantly in the air by little Paul Deacon.
Tremendous leap, wasn't it? Notice how he put the knees out in front just to protect himself. Not the tallest on the paddock, as you can see, but he took that quite superbly. Both defences on top at the moment. Only that one break from Feather so far, 6 minutes into this game.
Aaron Smith, that's now by Nicolo. Some big hits already, some big collisions. This is Robbie Paul as Bradford tried to spread it. Johnson is tackled by Senior on the last.
Great sliding defence there. Just pushing the ball out wide, making sure that there was no gaps. There's a high one. Looks a bit long.
But it's been allowed to bounce by Leeds, and they came up with it in the shape of Francis Cummins.
Well, there again, it was not the best chase by the Bradford side. Leeds allowing the ball to bounce there. It could have gone anywhere. Francis Cummins got to it in the end. But they don't look enthusiastic yet again.
Francis Cummins cut down in the tackle. Deacon getting through a lot of work. Still waiting for the first collision between McDermott and Fielden, but both players anxious to play that personal battle down in the build-up to this match. Here is Sinfield, the lead skipper, and he was shoulder charged after the ball went by Peacock, but it was a good kick just the same, and a great chase by Marcus Fye. There was nowhere for Tavita Vaikona to go there.
Great kick there from the skipper, Kevin Sinfield. He put the bat spin on the ball, was never going to go in out of the dead ball area.
Well, one of the biggest games of the year, in fact, maybe the biggest game of the year so far for these two. I wonder who's going home with the 2 points and the watch as man of the match. Our representatives from the Rugby League media will make that choice for us, and their spokesman is Dave Hadfield.
Yes, hello Eddie. It's some raised eyebrows about players we didn't expect to see at all tonight. Shontaine Happy and Chris McKenna. Be interesting to see what impact they have. Danny Maguire in the side, out of the side, back in the side, likewise for him. And we hope eventually we're going to see Barry McDermott on the field with Stuart Fielder. We'll feel a little bit robbed if we don't see a continuation of their personal war.
Well, we'll be talking to Dave with about 5 or 10 minutes to go.
Oh, that should have been a flop, and it is.
He will decide who's the man of the match. I think that's the first penalty of the game.
Well, that was silly from the prop forward Stuart Fielden. Far too experienced for that. No need for it. Giving away a vital 30 metres away to the opposition. And we saw and we mentioned the Bradford side. They looked so finely tuned against the Australian champions Penrith, but it looks as though they're missing a few cogs out there.
Ryan Noble, the coach, alongside him Phil Vivas, his assistant. This is Chris Feather now for Leeds as they try and examine this Bradford defence. They're 10 metres away. It's a glorious opportunity this for the Rhinos. Sinfield back to Mathers. He skips inside Robbie Paul. He gives it to Danny Maguire. The man of the moment, Maguire. What a run from Maguire. Good ball to Sinfield. Oh, and Sinfield just loses possession at the vital time.
They had the overlap out wide as well to the right.
But that was magical from Maguire.
He's all quality. They were playing ducks and drakes. There's the captain losing the football, the coach Tony Smith. As Dave Hatfield has just pointed out, it looked as though Danny Maguire all week was going to start up from the bench. Then he's starting, then he wasn't.
But that was a truly mesmerising run from the youngster Maguire.
And good work
also. One of the great young talents in the game.
Certainly is, and throwing to that mix as well, the ability of the fullback Richard Mathers. He really has impressed me.
I think I'm right in saying that Gary Connolly is fit. If he's not fit, he's almost fit. And it takes some performance to keep him out of the side. That's a great ball, and Harpy allows it to bounce.
He's lost it.
It was on the last anyway. It's the turnover.
Nice little option though. Deacon just putting the cross kick. Shontaine Harpy will be a little bit rusty.
He was very patient, Harpy, to